Hey, what's up? So we're in Meijer and I'm going to take you guys through the grocery store just to see what I would choose as a health coach and what you guys should choose while you're doing your grocery shopping. So we're here in the produce aisle, and what I'm looking for in the produce is I'm looking for these green organic signs here, and you'll see those throughout the store, and we'll kind of go through there and show you guys. But we're coming this way. So it says that it's organic, but what you want to actually look for is the numbers here. This one is actually not organic because it starts with a 4. So you're looking for a 9. So right here it actually has the organic label, and then it has the 9 on the code here. So when you're looking for produce, just because it has organic up top, you want to make sure you're looking for this number. And the reason that we're picking organic produce is because you know, we're looking for things that are chemical free. We're looking for it to be nature grown, and you know, just avoiding those toxins that you could be placing in your body. Okay, so what's up? We're here at the fruit aisle and we're looking through the fruits now. Once again, we're looking for that organic label here. We're going to avoid these. This is Michigan blueberries, so probably a little bit better, but they're still going to be toxically sprayed. So we're looking for USDA organic. And there's usually several options in this area here. And then once again, you're kind of looking for that 9 instead of that 4. And if you go over this way, we're gonna go to the dips over here. So one of the things with the dips is they're actually pretty deceiving. You know, I am a fan of hummus, but if you look in the hummus, if you're starting to avoid some of these oils here, you're gonna see soybean oil, and this might be a non-GMO, so it's gonna be a little better than just picking soybean oil. But if we are avoiding those high omega-6s, then I would avoid this as well. So just because you think hummus is healthy, sometimes you have to look at those ingredients and realize that those oils are still present in those foods. So usually I would skip over a lot of these unless I'm just gonna do a treat. I might come over here and grab some guacamole. You'll just wanna make sure that you're checking the back of those as well to make sure they didn't throw in any extra oils or sugars. And here they actually added sugar to this one, so I would probably avoid that. And just kind of look through here and check your ingredients. This one has no sugar, so just make sure that you're double checking your labels to see if it's actually healthy or if they're throwing in a bunch of stuff that you don't want in your diet. Okay, so next up we have the cheeses, and here I'm looking for a few different things. So first of all, I really love Kerrygold. So anytime I see Kerrygold, I'm pretty good with grabbing anything they have. It's a grass-fed company, so I'm not worried about it. You can check your ingredients, but I haven't really found anything negative in these. Another thing I'm looking for is like RBST free. I'm looking for non-GMO. I'm looking for grass-fed. I'm looking for raw. I really like raw cheeses, especially when it comes to people that are lactose intolerant. They tend to be able to digest raw dairy products a little bit better. Another thing I'm looking for is like organic, which I'm not necessarily seeing right now, or just things that don't have a lot of orange color to them, because if they have a lot of orange color, usually they have a dye added to them, so I usually avoid those unless I look at the back and it has like something that's natural, but this one has that dye, so I'll usually avoid that. Cabot's usually pretty good, but like I said, I usually check my ingredients. This is very, very simple ingredients, so I would snag this. But you want to avoid, just avoid anything that's adding a lot of ingredients to it. So this has color added, so I would avoid this cheese. So just looking for simple ingredients, the no added hormones, the raw and organic versions of cheese, that would be your best options there. Okay, so let's talk about juices and smoothies real quick, because I used to sell them and I got the background on this. So I'm going to literally avoid all of this right here, except for maybe some of these. But most of this is just a lot of freaking sugar, and they have additive ingredients to them that I'm just not into. So here we just have natural flavor and a lot of different juices, and so this is pure like liquid sugar. So if I'm trying to lose weight and lose body fat, that's just something that I'm going to avoid. Plus these are organic, so they're gonna have that toxic overload as well. So when we come over here, these are things that I would grab. So if I'm looking for a drink or I'm trying to get away from soda, then I'm going to start to navigate towards kombucha. And then I'll also show you guys another soda product that I like that doesn't have the added sugar and toxins into it. So this is kombucha. There's claims to be good for gut health. Obviously there's some controversial science there, but I do love kombucha here and there, and so I recommend this. And then like I said, this Rebel over here has a adaptogenics in it from mushrooms, so I really like those, and usually their ingredients are pretty good, but it is kind of high in sugar, so just keep that in mind, that even though this is a good drink, that I wouldn't drink it on a daily basis. All right, so let's chat about the healthy choice here. Okay, you have the healthy choice option, the smart one, and the lean cuisine. This is an all-time avoid here. Let's check out the ingredients. So we got a lot of bad things going on here. We have dextrose, which is ultimately sugar. We have natural flavoring. We have maltodextrin, which is MSGs. It's a neurotoxin exciter that actually makes you kind of addicted to it. You have modified cornstarch, super bad for you, and it's GMO. You have brown sugar, you have soybeans, and that's going to be high in omega-3s, and then you have, looks like a bunch of seasonings, and then canola oil, which is high in omega-6s as well. More sugar, wine, which essentially is sugar. It's probably a reduction, but still. So your carbohydrates are super high here, your fat's pretty low, and your protein's low. I mean, I would say that's pretty low. So this is definitely not a healthy choice. Let's not do that. We come over here to Smart Ones, another non-healthy choice here. Let's see, trying to find the ingredients. Oh, right here. So lots of sugars, soy, modified cornstarch again. We have lots of bad things going on here. Molasses, corn oil, soy sauce, more sugar. So loaded with sugar again. And the lean cuisine. We have very lean options here. Modifying cornstarch still, rice starch, soy protein, so, oh, and the MSGs are in there as well. So again, another unhealthy option that they claim to be healthy, so just keep that in mind. You got the protein's a little higher here, lots of carbs, and low fat again. So let's avoid these frozen foods, because usually the frozen foods are big liars. Okay, so we're at the fruit section. This is the frozen fruit section, and I actually like to get my fruits here because, first of all, they're organic. They have a lot of mix here, and I can just keep them in my freezer and pull them out whenever I want. So if I'm not getting local berries, then this is where I'm gonna get my berries to throw in my freezer, and my girls like them. So, so I definitely recommend the organic version of berries. Okay, ice cream, obviously we all love that. So I'm gonna show you a couple of these that I recommend if you're wanting a treat that isn't gonna totally destroy your diet. We have Jenny's up here. They're really frozen right now, but Jenny's is a grass-fed version of ice cream, and it has super good ingredients, so I definitely would recommend that as a healthier option. And then down here, we have Rebel. And Rebel is high fat. It's a very keto-friendly ice cream, and it's super good. And it also uses an alternative sugar that isn't a bad sugar. There is a few oils in here that I don't love, and we talk about those in the diet chart, but if you are looking for a treat, this is going to be way better than your other options if you don't want to pick Jenny's. Right over here is Amy's frozen food, and I actually used to eat this when I first started getting into the healthy realm, but I would choose these over any other frozen food that claims to be healthy if you're going to go this route, because they do pick a lot of better ingredients, and they usually have a lot of organic and a lot of non-GMO options and a reduction of the harmful oils. So if you're going to go with frozen food because you're in a hurry, then I would go with Amy's for sure. Okay, what's up? So we're at the dressing aisle, and so everyone's big on salads when they start to get healthy, but let's talk about the dressings. Dressings usually contain a lot of freaking bad ingredients, so I'm going to show you a few that I recommend, and then I'm going to show you a few that people usually get that's super bad. So I love Primal Kitchen. I'm actually certified under them as a health coach, so they are super good at using really good oils, really good ingredients in their dressings, so I have no worries. I don't even have to look at the ingredient level when I'm grabbing a Primal Kitchen. Another brand I really like is Tessemae's. So Tessemae's is pretty good overall. I don't normally check the ingredients, but the one thing that I will mention with Tessemae's is they do have the sunflower oil in them that does have that high omega-6. But if this is like the only thing that you're putting in your body that has a little bit of high omega-6 there, it's not going to be that harmful for you if you're doing a high omega-3 diet. So not too concerning there. Bragg's is another one that's usually super good with their ingredients. And then Annie's, actually when I first got started with health coaching, this is one of the ones that was very prevalent when Primal Kitchen wasn't out, and so I usually recommended that as well. But they've gotten to the point where they're putting a lot of canola oil in their stuff, so I would just avoid this for the most part unless that's legitimately your only option. Tessemae also has these like grab and go packets for you know, taking it to go with you. And then here's one that I definitely don't recommend, and this is Skinny Girl. So one of the reasons I don't is because, for one, we don't care if it's fat-free or not. That's not where we're at. And sugar-free, let's see what their sugar additive is here. Let's see, we have caramel color, which we want to avoid. They have sucralose, so it's definitely not sugar-free. Let's just throw that out there. Natural flavor, and they have a lot of things that try to make this a thickening agent, which isn't good for our bodies. So Skinny Girl is not a healthy dressing, so avoid that. And then, you know, what other things do people like? So this is probably another one that someone's gonna pick up that looks healthy, but if you turn it around, it's okay, but the main ingredient is cane sugar. So you're pretty much drinking sugar when you put this on your salad. Another one, let's see, I don't even know what this one is, but it does have an organic label, so this is gonna catch my eye. Let's look at the back here. So I would avoid this, honestly, because it has sesame seed oil as the top ingredient. I'm not trying to eat a lot of seed oils. Rice vinegar, soy sauce. I'm not trying to eat a bunch of soy. So these are the things that you need to look for when you're doing your dressings to make sure that they actually have good ingredients that you want to ingest. This one's pretty good overall. The main ingredient is sunflower oil, so remember that is high in omega-6, but I wouldn't be afraid to use this dressing if I felt like it. Okay, so we're over here with the barbecue, and who doesn't like barbecue? So I'm going to show a few things that I would pick out personally if I was going to pick some barbecue. Obviously, Primal Kitchen is 100% go-to. You're not gonna have to worry about that. I wouldn't even need to check the ingredients because I know they're legit. Here, I do like to grab theirs occasionally, but remember that if you're trying to avoid sugar, they have a lot of sugar because it's legit barbecue sauce. But the reason I do like it is because it's very basic ingredients. Okay, what's up? So we're at the mayo aisle, and I wanted to show a few things here. So Primal Kitchen, obviously go-to. We have a keto mayo that looks like it's super good. The ingredients are clean. This brand obviously is clean as well. And then we have Tessemae's. So those I would go to. Now, I do want to point out that there is an organic mayonnaise here, and usually people would just grab this because it's going to be cheaper and it says organic, and they wouldn't even look at the back. But if we look at the back, the main ingredient is soybean oil, so we're going to want to avoid that immediately because it's high in omega-6s, and we have a lot of cane sugar in here. The difference here is this is using avocado oil, which is not going to have that negative impact on your body, and this one's soybean oil. So that's the big difference here. And so I just wanted to point out that just because it says organic doesn't necessarily mean that it's healthy. Okay, so let's talk about peanut butter really quick. A lot of people like to grab the Jif just because I think it's just the programmed brand. But when we look at the Jif, it's not just peanuts. So you guys really have to look at your labels. It is peanuts and sugar and molasses and hydrogenated vegetable oils, which we know is connected to mental health issues. And then we have mono and diglycerides. So I'm pretty sure that's not good. So when you're looking for peanut butter, you literally should be looking for peanuts. So if we go over here, there's some cheaper brands down here that are Meijer. When you turn this around, it literally has organic peanuts and sea salt. That should be your peanut butter. So I noticed that most of the unhealthy versions are on this side, but obviously that might not be the case everywhere. And then we kind of have healthier versions over here. You just want to make sure that your peanut butters are actually just peanuts, salt, and then not added sugar. Smart balance. So you might see this and think that this is going to be good for you, but in the back we have added sugar, we have added palm oil, and we have molasses. So it's not really good for you because this is sugar loaded. So you guys need to keep that in mind just to make sure that you actually check the ingredients on your peanut butter, so that way you aren't betrayed in the peanut world. What's up? So we're in the fridge aisle and I want to go over a couple things super quick. The first thing is eggs. What I'm looking for here is organic to avoid the toxins of the grain, or what I really like is the pasture-raised eggs by Happy Egg. They have an organic option, they have free range option, and they have pasture-raised. Free range doesn't necessarily mean what you think it does. It just means that they're free in their cage, but it is a still very confined space. Pasture-raised, they have a lot more room to roam and eat their natural diet. And then if it's organic, we're avoiding that toxic grain. So just keep those things in mind when you're buying eggs. So another thing we're looking at is the big deception with the dairy industry right now. And what that is we've all moved over to this almond and coconut and I don't know, just nut-based milks. And people think that Silk, I think, is the big one that is supposedly healthy for them. But if you look at the ingredients in this, they have a lot of added ingredients that are super bad for our mind and body. So I want to just pull that awareness into you guys that Silk is not good for us. A lot of these nut-based milks are not good for us. They just have a lot of toxic oils in them, sugar added to them, anti-binding agents, just things that we don't want to be putting into our body, especially on a regular basis. So I would just avoid these fridges. There's nothing that you need here. Choose real dairy, choose full fat, and you'll be good to go. All right, what's up? So we're in the meat aisle, and I don't really love Meijer's meat options, but what I'm looking at is chicken right now, and a lot of this chicken is going to be CAFO raised chicken, so I'm going to avoid that at all costs. But there is one here that is good. It's organic and it's certified humane, and I would go with this chicken if I'm going to pick anything. I would definitely avoid all this. I would feed this to my dogs, okay? And then it looks like they have another one here. I've never used this brand before, but it is organic and non-GMO based chicken. And then the last option here, this is not organic, but it is non-GMO, so you are avoiding that aspect of it. Okay, so we are in the red meat section, and we have come across some lamb that is from Australia. New Zealand and Australia are grass-fed always, so if you ever see something from Australia, the AUS, or New Zealand, the NZ, then I would say that that's going to be a safe option with beef, and then this is lamb. So these lamb actually look really good too. They're real deep red, but not like this baked colored red. So you can kind of see the difference here, where this kind of looks really kind of off red, and this looks like natural red. So keep that in mind too when you're buying your meats. Okay, so I have found the beef section. It's not necessarily in the other red meat section, so just keep that in mind that you might need to look in another area. But down here is grass-fed and grass-finished beef, which is super awesome because they didn't finish them on grain. So they have some different options here. So I would just look for that 100% grass-fed option. And then another thing, that if you guys have a local farmer near you that does grass-fed beef, then you usually can get a better price than going to the grocery store. Just keep that in mind, that if you know somebody that does beef on pasture, then you might want to ask him, you know, how he raises his cows overall and maybe get a better deal. In the fish aisle, we're just looking at a couple things here. I'm looking for wild caught. So you can see some of these labels that say wild caught. There's some shrimp over there. Ultimately, that's what you're looking for, because when it comes to farm raised, they're feeding it a lot of unnatural things, and it can be toxic for the body. So just keep that in mind, that when you are buying your seafood products, that you stick with wild caught. Okay, so we're in the cold meat section. Most of these you are going to avoid. They have lots of additives in it that we do not want to put in our bodies. But if we come over here, you can see that there are some Applegate versions. They're USDA organic, and they usually don't have antibiotics and hormones added to them. So keep that in mind, that there is a healthy option of the cold meat section. You just have to look for it. Aisles that I'm going to avoid.